Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this HP Pavilion x360 Convertible model 14-cd2053cl. Alright, we're going to be using a JS1 and a JS0 screwdriver to get into this. So underneath the two rubber feet here, which are already missing, but I usually use my fingernail and get under there. You can use plastic pry tools or some flathead screwdrivers. But anyways, they're the JS1 screws. You're going to keep them in order by putting them flat side down like that on your desk, because you don't want to mix them up. Sorry, it's like past 3 a.m. now. Anyways, we'll remove these two screws, and you want to keep them in order because some of the screws are different size, shape, and length, and if you mix them up, you can actually damage your computer that way. We switched over to the JS0 screwdriver. We're going to remove the 3 screws on the front here. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove those. Alright, and after that, we're going to have to pry this thing open. I think this model, if I remember correctly, is a bit difficult to get apart, but let's see. So now that we got those 5 screws out, let's go ahead and try and pop it open. We're going to try a suction cup first. I'm going to hold the little edge of the side here down and see if we can pull this up. And it doesn't seem to want to move anywhere. What about the front? Nope. Okay, so I guess we're going to have to try and just pry it open. So we're going to go from the back here. And I'm going to try with my fingernails. Nope. Wow, this thing is strong. What about here? Nope. Here. Since the side's kind of popping open, I'm going to slide my fingernail along there and pull up. And you can see that's actually working. And of course you can use plastic pry tools to do this. So, oh, that worked nicely. Okay, so after I slid my fingernail along here while pulling up, the cover just kind of popped open, just like that. Okay, so we'll set that aside. We're going to be actually replacing the screen on here. Alright. I don't want to take everything apart because the only thing that they're having issues with is the screen. This does look like an M.2 PCIe NVMe, but let me check. Yes, it is. So this uses a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. There's one screw here. You always want to check with the JS1 before using the JS0, so the JS1 fits actually. Alright, so yeah, one screw, undo that, it pops up slightly, you can pull it out. Let me actually get a thumbnail here. So we're going to center this, and we'll just leave it there. Okay, it looks like there's a spot for a regular hard drive, but there's this rubber thing here. So you need a SATA adapter to connect to the motherboard right here. This is actually labeled HDD1, unless it's referring to this, but this slot isn't being used at all, so I'm assuming that's what this is for. Yeah, I could be wrong. But anyways, there's no screw mounts or anything here, so if you're gonna attempt to do that, you're doing it at your own risk, because I don't know if it will actually support. Alright, you have the fingerprint reader here with this cable, and then it has this other cable going underneath the motherboard. Okay, what else do we got? You got the DC jack charge port here. To remove this, you do have to undo this hinge screws, and then you can flip the hinge up. Wireless card here, you can pull up from the tails to pop the antennas out. There's one screw there holding it, then it pops up, and then you can pull it out like the SSD. There's a speaker connector here with the speaker bar up there. LCD LVDS connector here. If you're going to mess with this, make sure that you disconnect the battery first, then open the laptop and press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds. Alright, you got this connector for the power button there. Okay, cable runs along and plugs in right there. There's not much else. You got the fan with the fan connector right there. It looks like to remove the fan would be kind of a pain. Let's actually go ahead and take the battery out. Battery model is TF03XL. Okay, again, keep all the screws in order, and let me show you a close-up here. TF03XL. Okay, and then we're just going to remove all these screws. Okay, that one, and this one. Hopefully this cable's not covering the battery. Okay, so there's 4 along the top, and then we got 2 along the bottom here on these corners. Okay, that one and that one. There we go. Then we can go ahead and lift this up here, and then we can pull this back. And there's the battery. It's a little dusty. Let me clean that off. The screen here looks like it's going to be difficult to remove. I looked at it earlier, and they just used some really strong adhesive to hold it, so we'll see how that goes. You got the touchpad, trackpad connector here going underneath the motherboard, keyboard backlight connector, keyboard connector. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is there. There's also the RAM underneath this metal plate, so it's a little bit difficult to get under here. You just find a tab I get underneath with my fingernail, and then I pop it up, and we're gonna have to kind of actually work all the way around. Since they have that adhesive there, we're gonna go around to the front of it just like that. So I put my fingernail under here, and then I pushed here to kind of make it pop like a seesaw up the other way. Okay, we're gonna go around, and there we go. There's actually 2 slots for RAM, but they're only using 1, it looks like. You can pull these 2 metal tabs to the side, and the RAM should be able to pop up like that. Then you can go ahead and pull this out. The RAM is an 8 gig stick, PC4 2666V. You should be able to use any PC4 2666V RAM. So if you want, you can get 2 16 gig sticks. All right. Gonna wiggle that and then push that down. If you're wondering, there's no CMOS BIOS battery in here, so keep that in mind. It's actually going to be using the the main battery as the CMOS BIOS battery. So keep that in mind. If for some reason you need to reset the BIOS or something, then you will have to do that by removing the main battery. All right. So we got all of that done. Now that we got the battery removed, we're going to carefully open up the laptop, and then we're going to press and hold the power button, like I said, for at least 15 seconds. All right. Oh, it's on this side. Yeah. Okay, so hold that for at least 15 seconds. This drains any residual power and makes it a lot safer to work on. This is very important since we're going to be working on the screen, and we're going to be trying to pop it out. The replacement screen looks a little different, so hopefully that's not going to cause any issues. You can see this one has an HP here. On this one, it actually shows x360. This one doesn't have that. And then they have a Windows logo here. I don't know if this one acts as a button, but sometimes the Windows logo acts as like the home key button. The problem is, if these things are different, then I'm not going to be able to change it. And yeah, this one, it's kind of risky to take the screen out, so I'm a little bit worried here trying to attempt this, because it's a long, slow process. It's not one that you can just quickly do. So anyways, to pop the screen out, as you can see, I folded it backwards, but basically I get my fingernails in the gap there, and then I push with my thumb on the back and pull. So just like this, you can see the screen is separating there. Okay, and we'll just run along the entire length. So just like that, and this only releases the top edge. Okay, so if you look at it here, we got the top edge out. The problem is, again, if you look at the replacement one, they just use a thick thing of adhesive here that sticks and holds it in place. So because of that, to get this out, we're gonna have to play the long waiting game. You can probably try adding some heat to speed it up, but I don't know if that will really help too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on this, and then I'm going to get a popsicle stick in there, and I'm going to use that as a way to kind of just apply some constant force, and we'll leave it like that and slowly keep moving it down. Again, adding some heat will possibly help, but because the backing here is just plastic, I'm worried that I'll end up breaking it. You can also try adding some isopropyl rubbing alcohol. I can actually see a bit of the adhesive here sticking out or sticking in there now, so maybe I can try removing it. I think it might act as stretch release adhesive. I don't know if you can see. There you go. You can see that black strip back there. We're gonna try and pull on that later. But let's go ahead and try and get this other corner out. For some reason, this one's not popping. They have like a dent here, so maybe that's preventing it. Oh yeah, that like caused some glass dust to kind of pop out. Actually, it's not glass, it's I think just plastic. But anyways, we're gonna try and pull on this side and try and get this in here and start the same process. Again, the adhesive is very strong, so this is more like a weighting thing that you're gonna have to kind of like stick something there and then wait for it to slowly peel away. Okay, so I'm gonna get this in there because this is thinner, at least the starting edge of it. And then we're gonna just kind of work our way down. This, there's a plastic tab in there that's like kind of bending. Don't really want that to happen, but there we go. Okay, so I'll get the tool in there, and it's constantly applying pressure. Now we're gonna go over back to the one with the popsicle stick here. Slowly slide it further down. You can see like after a while, I'm able to slide it quite a bit further down. I'm gonna see if I can grab the adhesive in there with some needle nose pliers. I don't know if we'll be able to get it or not, but let's see. If we can, we might be able to stretch it to release, but maybe not. It depends what kind of adhesive they used here. So it's a bit stretchy, so maybe, but it's also tearing. No, it's not. It's not a stretch release adhesive, sadly. It's just a foamy type of adhesive. So I guess we're gonna have to do the long waiting game here of slowly prying this out. Again, this is a long, slow process, but basically you just keep moving the tool down as it releases. Okay, just like this, and then you give it some time. The adhesive will slowly stretch and like pull away, and then you just continue moving this thing down. So I'm gonna do this and then I'll be back because it's a long process and I don't need to record like me just slowly sliding a stick down this thing for probably half an hour to an hour, depending on how quickly the adhesive will want to let go. This one's, I'm gonna get this thing out and use the popsicle stick instead, because it's thinner, so it doesn't apply as much like force that can crack the screen in half. Okay, but yeah, that's basically what we're going to be doing. You can see I can slowly keep moving this popsicle stick down. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be back when I get all the way down. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, I've almost worked my way all the way to the bottom, so I figured I'd start recording again. Some of these have like little, I don't know what you would call, but notches in it, I guess. So I kind of have to like twist it a little forward, so that way instead of going like, I don't know how to show this, but going into the notch, it like twists outwards and slides away from it. So I have to like rotate it this way. Okay. Anyways, you can see we're almost all the way at the bottom on both sides. Looks like they put adhesive all the way down. Okay, and I think that's it. So, did the adhesive all come out there? It's hard to see what's going on here while trying to record, but I think that's pretty much it. So we got all the adhesive along the sides out. Now what we are going to do, we're going to pull it up. I don't know if you can see this, but you can see this here. You can pull this up and it forms a gap now. Okay, and then hopefully we can kind of swing it out. Okay, so you can see I'm rotating it out this way. It's coming out, and you can see we can kind of rotate it, and this cabling is coming out there. But we might have to get the left side up first, then rotate it out a little because this cabling's in the way. So we can kind of swing it over sideways and then rotate it out this way. And now that we kind of have that, can we look underneath and undo whatever is here. This looks like it's going to be very difficult. So I think we have to open this more so this lines up better. So let's open this to like 180 degrees, almost completely flat. And now can we swing this out a bit more? Kind of, not really. This is kind of tight fit. So I don't know if we have to remove the entire screen, hinge, and everything to get it out. I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but I think I might. Alright, so let's go ahead and actually take the hinge screws out. Okay, most likely JS1. We're also going to remove the wireless antennas. If you're wondering how to remove those, let me see if I can even show that. Okay, basically you go from the tails and you just pull up. They have little labels here. This black label goes to the black arrow, the white label goes to the white arrow. I'm going to go under and then just pop it up like that from the tail end, okay? Just like that, all right? A lot of times these are fragile, so usually I try and avoid removing the antennas unless I have to, and in this case I do, all right? They have some tape there, we're going to peel that up. They have a little cable here. We're going to get underneath this plastic tab first, peel that back a little so it's no longer on top of the black part of this connector. And then we're going to flip this latch up. Okay, I use my fingernail, flip that latch up. Then we can pull up slightly on this plastic tab and back, just like that. There we go, we just connected that. We're going to unroute this cabling from the speaker here, if we can. Let's see, there's tape and stuff in the way, but there we go. Okay, and then we got all of that. We're going to remove the LCD LVDS connector. So this one also has like some tape that's going over onto the heat sink or heat pipe. All right, then we're going to flip this latch up. And then same thing, pull up slightly and back. And there we go. We got that cable out, unroute it from the speaker. Okay, now we're going to undo those screws here. Make sure you keep track of which screws you're removing. There's only two left and right. You don't do the middle one. Okay. Same thing over here. Looks like there's only two screws left and right. And you avoid the middle one. And hopefully I didn't accidentally get any of the screws stuck to the magnets in the screen. Alright, so we got those two out. There's a lot of dust in here that I kind of need to clean out. But let's see. Okay. Alright, now that we've got those out, let's see if we can actually separate the screen from this. Can we lift it? And there we go. Okay, so we're going to set aside this piece, and now we're going to work on getting the screen out of here. So, screen. Huh, how would I take this out? This cabling goes up like that. Would I have to rotate it all the way vertical? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to, it looks like we'd have to rotate this hinge completely like closed, but that still wouldn't quite reach. So I'm not too sure here. How would I get to that part? Because the cable is stuck in there. Would I have to actually remove the whole hinge here? But that would make this not possible. Okay, maybe what I can do is I can just wiggle this to get the cabling a little bit out further. Looks like it's coming out a little bit, kind of. Yep, okay. So there we go. I pulled it a little to get some of the cabling out. Now we need to kind of slide this or get that out of that loop there. So I'm going to use this to kind of help push it up out of the way. Come on. There we go. Unroute that. And now we kind of can flip this over more. Gonna rotate this. Now we have access over here, and we can hopefully disconnect this cable here. Here you can see how they have the two digitizer cables here. Let's look at the back here, because this one, it should also be touchscreen, but the digitizer cables are already built in to this board at the bottom, and then they have the one connector on either side, and then that. So it looks like it's built the same. So let's go ahead and try and remove that. Okay, so we have this adhesive here that we do need to get out. I hate this kind of adhesive because usually you peel it and then the adhesive separates it. It's not reusable, but we'll see. Sometimes it is. Okay, so we got this. Slowly peeling it and get that out. And then it has the plastic tab underneath this. I'm going to kind of wiggle this and pull that. Okay, there we go. And then usually I try and go at the bottom of the connector and pull down to disconnect it, just like this. Alright, so that came out. They have this cable going around underneath the digitizer cable, so we have to flip these latches and release those actually. So the white ones, right? Yep, flip up the white ones like that, and then we should be able to or disconnect this. So pull that out. There you go. Disconnect the digitizer cable. So we have to disconnect both because they are blocking this wire that we have to remove here. Okay, and hopefully it will fit in the other one. Now we gotta peel up this plastic tape tab here. And then we have the little latch that we gotta flip. I know, sorry, it's so far zoomed out, but flip that latch and then pull this out. So we got that cable out, and then they put this tape here, so we are gonna have to remove that to be able to get that cable out. Get underneath with this tool. You can probably even just cut it because I don't think you can. We don't need this tape for anything, but I'm just gonna peel this off in case for some reason the customer needs their old screen. Okay, there we go. Take that out. Unroute it from underneath these cables here. Just like that. This one as well. We need to peel this tape out. There we go. Move that out of the way. Get this cable disconnected. Okay, and then we got this cable here, so we're gonna have to undo the plastic tab there, peel that back, flip that latch, and then pull that out. There we go. Then I think there's some adhesive holding this, so you gotta peel that. Make sure you don't crease this cable too much. I'm trying to pull it back this way as I kind of lift it up. Okay. And there we go. Then we can unroute this from there, and there we go. So here's the old screen, and here's the new screen. Most of it looks about the same, so I think we should be good. Okay, we'll set aside the old screen. Now we need to get the new screen in here. The tricky part is, how do I get all this cabling back up there? Okay. Oh, actually, one other thing we need to do first. Obviously, we need to get the old adhesive out. Don't leave that there. So I'm going to use this little scrapey tool to kind of help scrape it up if I can. Hopefully we can get all of this stuff out. If you can, does it peel off? If you go kind of slow, you can kind of peel this off, but you have to go pretty slow. So once you get a little bit of it, you can see we can kind of slowly peel this out. There we go. And try and get the residue off. Okay, There's lots of this adhesive all along the entire thing. So we're going to try and peel that all out. Slowly peel it up. Oh, that didn't work. Sorry for this long part. You can just fast forward over if you want. Obviously, you don't have to watch me peeling out tape if you can do it yourself. Or you can leave it playing and follow along and probably do it faster than me. I don't know. We can race. There we go. Get this stuff out. Okay, this one's being a bit difficult, so I'm going to try to use this. Oh, that's actually working quite well. I just have to like jab at it multiple times. Uh-oh, this bit's kind of stuck there. Well, it's fine, as long as it's pretty flat, it should be good. Okay, that one didn't work, so we're gonna have to keep cutting at it. Okay, there we go. So we got all the old adhesive out. We're gonna put the new one in, and then we'll peel this blue stuff out later, hopefully. Hopefully we can do that. Alright, so we're gonna try and get this in. Alright, next we gotta get this little cable plugged in. Okay, we gotta start with the little one down here. And this is difficult. Let me actually start without this in there and see if that will help. Actually, that made it worse. Okay, so we do have to try and get this thing in first. And I'm gonna hold this one to keep it lined up. Get that in. And go. Is that in properly? I don't know. Okay, I think that's good. We're gonna slide our finger over that to latch it. And I don't know, because this cable's a little wobbly. It doesn't stay in completely straight. Well, we'll tape it in place to hopefully that will work. Then we got this one that curves around and plugs in on this side. So we'll put that and get that plugged in as well. Okay, that one's in. And then we gotta slide our finger over the latch just like the other side, and then put that tape over it. Okay, this one curls around and goes into that. And then the last one, we gotta get this cable in. This thing, the tape is all screwed up, so I'm gonna have to somehow fix that. Let me see, can I lower this down without breaking it? There we go. Can I undo this adhesive because it's messed up? I can't leave the plastic tab like all folded up like that. That's not gonna work. So we gotta try and get in there and peel that back up. There we go. Separate the plastic clear tab from the fabricy one. There we go. All right, let's get the screen connected. So we're gonna rotate this. I know this is not an easy job. Okay, it's a very difficult repair. There we go. Let's get this lined up. Okay, and we'll pull that in, make sure it's in all the way, and then we'll get this adhesive and stick it back down. And hopefully everything is good here. We're going to rotate it back over. Pull this cabling back in. We gotta keep this lifted slightly, get that underneath there. Hopefully it's going to work. Okay, make sure this cable goes around and back into this hook. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to slowly slide it back down in there. Make sure the cabling goes into that groove underneath. It doesn't want to, it's getting caught there, so I don't know if this is going to work or not, but it's going to have to. So we gotta kind of get this cabling into there. There we go. Okay, slide that back in. Slide this side down as well and get that. There we go. So get all of that slid down into place. Okay, at this point we can probably reconnect it before we peel off the adhesive and everything, because I think we can, yeah, we can tilt this forward and peel that off and then clip it all into place after. So I'm gonna put this thing back together. We're gonna power it up and see if everything is good, and if not, we're gonna have to order another screen. But hopefully that's not going to be the case. All right, so we got this guy, and right now the screen is going that way, so I think it goes like this. Yep. So flip it like that, flip this like this, and I don't remember, oh, it's actually backwards. I had it the other way when I took it out. So we're gonna go like this, and then we need to get those screws back in. So I'm gonna go start there, we'll line this up, drop that in, and drop this in, make sure these cables are out of the way. Okay. Alright, just like that. We'll get these 4 screws that were holding the hinges back into place. Again, you could just flip that hinge backwards to get the charge port out, but yeah. Alright, keep in mind you probably will have to disconnect these cables to do that, so yeah. Alright, get in there. Alright, make sure that latches up. Get the LCD LVDS cable connector back in place. Oh, there we go. Push that excess slack back in there. Get that in. Make make sure it's lined up, and then flip that latch back. It's very important that this thing is completely lined up before you put it all back and put the battery in, because if you put the battery in and this is crooked, you're gonna fry the backlight circuit. Hopefully the screen that we got is not defective or anything, because that could also cause some problems. And if it does, I don't know, the customer's gonna be pissed and probably make me pay for a new laptop. So hopefully that's not going to be the case, because the screen that arrived happened to be like a return. So I don't know, whoever used it, they could have returned a bad screen in its place. Anyways, we're gonna flip this latch up and get this little cable back in. Like, I noticed it was all smudgy looking, and it was in one of those Amazon green and clear return bags. Alright, so we'll get that cable in, flip that latch back down, put this tape back on top. Then we gotta get the antennas back in. Okay. They're separate, but they're also attached with the tape. Okay. Anyways, we'll get that. Let's get the white one in first. Make sure it's completely lined up before you push it down. There we go. And the black one. Okay, there we go. And push that tape into that little hole there. Okay, what else do we got? We got the battery, I think. Did I lose one of the battery screws? Where'd it go? Oh, it went inside of this thing here, so I'm gonna make sure to get that out. Okay. All right, let's get the battery back in place here. So we're gonna flip this over so you guys can see better. It's upside down now. Let me see, I can rotate the screen backwards. Actually, will that work? Is the battery area completely visible from here to here? Okay. All right, so let's get the battery back in. So the battery, you can line up the back here first. There's a little raised notch. Slowly lower it down. Make sure you're not gonna smash this cable. Okay, line it up, get that cable on top, and then push that down. All right, if you want, you can kind of make sure not on the cable, but on the connector, and you can try and push it to slide those pins to make them go in. And then let's get all these screws back in. Okay, we're almost there. Again, I hope that that screen isn't defective, because somebody returned it. So that might be a bad sign, but we'll see. Okay, we got the 4 upper screws in. Unless the battery's dead, we should be able to actually power it up right now like this to test it. Okay, we got all the screws in. Let's go ahead now, rotate this. We're gonna press the power button here on the side. Let me zoom out. I'm gonna press the power button, and I do see the power light coming on. Let's see if the screen comes on, so you can see the power light is on. The screen is black right now. Usually after replacing a screen like this, after disconnecting the battery, as I said, it acts as the CMOS BIOS battery, so it might, oh yeah, it takes time, and there you go. Press enter to reboot the system. Hopefully the touchscreen isn't going to go all crazy. I don't know why it restarted itself. I didn't press enter, but okay. And it's starting up. So I think we should be good to go. I'm going to have to tilt this out of the way because it might show the username, and sometimes people don't want people to see that, especially if it shows their full names there. It's doing updates right now, but it looks like it's good. So other than if the touchscreen doesn't work, we should be good to go. So what we can do, we can flip this over. I'm going to rotate this, and we can actually put the cover back on right now. So that's pretty much all there is to it, other than removing the adhesive and clicking everything back in. But yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Oh, that one clip was kind of broken off. Okay, so make sure this cable is not going to get damaged when you put the cover back on. So get that in. Okay, and then we just click everything back in and get those screws in. It clicks in pretty easily. Okay, and let me see here. I don't know. I think they disabled the touchscreen because right now there's no touch and it's in the folded 360 mode. So, we'll see. I'm gonna get the adhesive out and then we're gonna assemble this. So hopefully this broken plastic won't be too much in the way, that we can still push it down. It looks like it's gonna be a little tricky here, but I don't know. I hope it's gonna clip back in the same way. Okay, the clips do work. So now what we're gonna do, we gotta get the adhesive undone. So we're just gonna peel the blue part of that adhesive out. Okay, on both sides. And should be good. Okay, so we got the blue tabs out. Now what we're going to do, we can go ahead and fold this back. And then we can kind of push the sides down to get the stickiness and then push the top. I push it like inwards that way as I'm kind of pushing it down to try and get the clips to be not as far over. It makes it easier to go. There we go. The clips themselves actually already kind of hold the whole thing together. So the adhesive isn't really quite necessary, but you can kind of like pinch it together to get that all seated. All right, we're gonna close this up. And let me see, is the thing still on? What just happened? The screen is black right now, so. Oh, it probably went to sleep. Yeah, it went to sleep. Okay, so we're gonna flip this over and then we're just gonna get all the screws back in and we should be good to go. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, again, please like, subscribe, comment, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. All right. So yeah, let's get these last few screws in and we should be good to go. All right. This one's like dented so the clips are not engaging. So I gotta hold it down and get that screw in. There we go. Alright. These last few sides are good. And there we go. Alright, so I'm just gonna have to ask them for their password and then see about re-enabling the touchscreen. They probably went to the device manager and turned it off. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.